If you could change one thing about bass tournament angling, what would it be?
Bass tournament angling, and we already touched on that. 100%. I would make a bass boat with no live wells, dude. It's just keeping fish in live wells is not good for any fish. 100%. There's not even a question. It's not just because I run digital tournaments. I've ran other tournaments for years and years and years and years and years.
Right.
You know, I've run tournaments for as long as I can remember in the bass fishing world. That's the one thing I wanted to do as soon as I got into bass fishing. I'm like, I'm going to run a tournament. I'm going to run it better, you know. But when you're talking about June, post spawn, putting a 3.5 pound spot or a 3.5 pound sickly largemouth in your boat, it's done. That fish is not living after you've caught it and ran it around the lake for 8 hours. It's not going to happen. I don't care what the hell you do.
Yeah.
That fish is sick. It hurts. It's not going to make it. It's dying. Okay. That's a problem for the fishery. Do you imagine how good this fishery could be if we did not have live wells in our boat? Just imagine for 2 seconds how good this fishery would be if we didn't have a tournament 3 to 4 days a week and they weren't just drug around in their live well. Could you just imagine how freaking awesome it would be?
Yeah.
It's astronomical. That 3 to 4 pound class that we all like, man, we got to, if you're not catching 3.5 pounders, you're not even catching a check.
Yeah.
Well, now it's 4 pounds, right? Imagine if we didn't have these live wells. You're talking probably 5.5, 6 pounders because they're living longer. That let's just take 15 4-pounders, okay? And we take 15 4-pounders per tournament. Let's average. 15 4-pounders are going to get caught in most tournaments.
Yes.
Okay. East Hall this Saturday, there's going to be 15 4-pounders weighed in, 100%. You take those fish and you kill them. That's the future 5-pounder, 6-pounder. That whole class is gone. And you do that 3 or 4 times a week all year long.
Yeah.
You're totally screwing this fishery. And
I don't know
how good it is.
I don't know if I want to say anything or not, but
go ahead.
I don't know if I really want to say anything or not, but
well, say it. You wouldn't step up if you didn't.
I used to fish East Hall, but we chose not to fish it this year because I'm running my trail that I'm running, you know. And anyway, hindsight 2020 though, I was there 2 years ago when the comment was brought up at the first meeting before the first tournament. July and August, should we limit the fish to 3 fish limits? And outside of that, you know, should we change it to allowing 2 dead fish? And y'all may hate me for this, but I guess I'm going to crucify myself. There was so many people who were like, hell no, we just keep it the same way it's always been.
Well, right.
And I'm not going to name no names, but there was several of us there that were kind of like, what the hell what are you saying? You know, I mean, I understand that, you know, because I'm a traditionalist, but I understand, you know, that part of the strategy of tournament fishing, you know, if you keep them in the live wells, is managing your fish, is keeping them alive. But the price of digital stuff is, you know, that's the way things are. And the proficiency in digital stuff is now is, you know, you could keep some fish. You know, Tim may disagree with me. He may not, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree if we want to. I think you could keep fish like, you know, October through March. And then, you know, maybe identify it sometime in March when there's a lot of fish on bed. And when we pretty much come to an agreement, you know, there's a lot of fish on bed, maybe in March or April, and then cut it off after that. Then it's nothing but digital catch and release.
Right.
But I mean but like I said, we can.
I got a rebuttal to the bed fishing time.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I love bed fishing. Man,
it's exciting.
There's nothing like it. It really is nothing like it. Just learning how to catch the bigger fish. It's always fun. You know, being with some of the best bed fish. I've fished with some of the best bed fishermen on this lake. I mean, they see golds different in their eyes. You know, it's a great time to be out there doing that. Just imagine if we had digital tournaments during bed fishing season and you didn't catch those 5 and 6 pounders and bring them 10.5 miles away from their house where they're laying, where they're protecting their eggs. Okay. Just imagine if we didn't move those fish, how good this fishery would be. Stupid.
Yeah,
Because
right.
when you let one go, it usually goes right back. It might not immediately, but if you catch and release it, it's going to go back to where it was as long as you don't mess with it again.
Right.
And it's going to most likely spawn again. But you take that fish that let's just say that 6.5 pound female that could have been at 8 or 9 pounds. Okay. You take that fish and you run it all day in your live well because you caught it first thing in the morning. Because what are we going to do the first thing in the morning on bed fishing? We're going to go to our biggest fish. We'll catch our biggest fish. Okay. And you run that thing around and she's sick as hell. She ain't ate in 3 to 5 days. She doesn't feel good. She just got rid of all her eggs. She's going to die. She's not going to make it. Just imagine. During bed fishing season, we didn't have tournaments on this lake or they were all digital. That's a big difference in this fish population.
Right.
Massive difference. Then you got guys that don't know how to catch fish still going out catching fish because there's just so many fish out there to catch.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just astronomical the amount of fish we kill every year, and people don't even blink an eye at it.
Because just because you let it go doesn't mean it's going to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to let it go 10 miles away from the ramp after riding in your boat all day at 7 hours. I mean, that fish is not going to make it. I don't know how many times I've been on the back of the boat going, man, I don't know if this 6 pounder is going to live. It's really on the edge. Or you bring it up and it's got one gill flapping and the other gill is like sucked in because it's dead. It's got one gill just barely moving. I've ran tournaments for years. I've seen fish come to my scale and I've given them, 30 seconds to 45 seconds to move a gill. And I call them dead. And they're like, no, that thing was alive on my boat. I mean, listen, we're killing fish. We're 100% killing fish.